What if I told you there are towns in the United States where a real house costs less than a used car? Not an apartment, not a tiny shed. A full house with walls, windows, and even a front porch. While people in big cities struggle to pay rent every month, there are places quietly sitting in the background where home prices are shockingly low. In today's video, we're traveling across America to explore 25 US towns where homes are so cheap, they almost don't feel real. These towns were once full of life. Factories were busy. Streets were loud. Families were growing. Then time changed everything. Jobs disappeared. People moved away. But the houses stayed. This isn't just a video about cheap homes. It's a story about forgotten towns, second chances, and a simple question that will follow you through the entire video. If owning a home was this affordable, would you live here? Make sure you watch until the end, because town number 25 might completely change the way you think about buying a home in America. 1. Gary, Indiana. What would you do if a full-sized house cost less than a used car? It sounds like a joke, but in Gary, Indiana, this is real life. This town was once a giant of American industry. Steel mills worked day and night, filling the air with noise, smoke, and purpose. Every morning, thousands of workers poured into the streets. Children hurried to school. Small shops stayed open late because people had money to spend. Then, slowly, the factories shut down. Jobs vanished. Families packed up and left. But the houses didn't go anywhere. Today, solid brick homes with thick walls and wide porches sit quietly, selling for shockingly low prices. Walking through Gary feels eerie but powerful, like standing inside a paused movie scene, where the town is still waiting for someone to press play again. 2. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit is a city everyone talks about, but few truly see. This was the place that built America's cars and fueled the middle-class dream. At its peak, Detroit felt unstoppable. Then the auto industry collapsed, and the fall was fast and painful. Entire neighborhoods emptied almost overnight. Today, you can buy a home here for prices that feel unreal, like the numbers must be missing a zero. Some streets show damage and neglect, but others are full of color, murals, music, and life. You see people fixing houses with their own hands, planting gardens, painting walls, refusing to give up. Buying a home in Detroit doesn't feel like a normal purchase. It feels like choosing to believe in a city that refuses to die. 3. Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown feels like a town that remembers when it mattered. Steel mills once lit up the night sky like artificial suns. The sound of work filled the air. When the mills closed, silence followed. Families moved away in search of jobs, and the town grew quieter every year. But the homes stayed behind. They lined peaceful, tree-covered streets with cracked sidewalks and old-school charm. Many of these houses now cost less than 1 year of rent in a major city. Standing on a front porch in Youngstown, you can imagine slow mornings, calm evenings, and neighbors who actually know your name. It makes you stop and ask yourself a powerful question. Do we really need loud, crowded cities to live a good life? For Flint, Michigan. Flint's name carries heavy weight. People think of water crises, broken trust, and national headlines. Those stories scared buyers away, and home prices collapsed. But those headlines don't show the full picture. Behind them are real streets, real homes, and real families who never left. Houses here sell for unbelievably low prices, not because they're falling apart, but because fear destroyed their value. Kids still ride bikes down the street. Neighbors still look out for one another. Community still exists. Flint proves something shocking. Sometimes a bad reputation can make homes cheaper than they deserve to be. 5. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland sits proudly along the edge of Lake Erie, yet many people scroll right past it without a second thought. This city has professional sports, deep culture, rich history, and beautiful waterfront views. And yet, in many neighborhoods, home prices are shockingly low. Imagine waking up near a massive lake, feeling all 4 seasons, and knowing the house you're in actually belongs to you. No landlord. No endless rent. Cleveland feels like a secret deal hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to notice its true value. 6. Buffalo, New York. Buffalo once stood at the center of America's growth. Long ago, canals carried goods through the city, factories provided steady jobs, and families built strong lives here. This place mattered. Then time moved on. Jobs slowly faded, and winter became Buffalo's biggest enemy. Cold weather scared people away, and home prices dropped faster than anyone expected. But here's the shock. Buffalo's houses are breathtaking. Tall ceilings that let sunlight pour in. Wide wooden staircases worn smooth by generations. Detailed woodwork you almost never see in modern homes. Some of these houses sell for prices that feel like a mistake, like someone typed the numbers wrong. Snow keeps demand low, but for anyone who can handle winter coats and cold mornings, Buffalo feels like a frozen treasure chest, packed with beauty the world forgot to open. 7. Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham is a city where history doesn't sit quietly in books, it lives in the streets. This is where America faced itself during the Civil Rights Movement. Churches, museums, and memorials still stand as powerful reminders of courage, pain, and change. And yet, despite this deep and meaningful past, home prices here are far lower than most people expect. Walk through a Birmingham neighborhood and warmth hits you immediately. The smell of barbecue floats through the air. Laughter spills from front yards. Music hums softly from open windows. Many homes come with space, yards, and front porches where neighbors still talk to each other. Birmingham proves something rare, that you don't have to choose between culture and affordability. Sometimes they live together on the same quiet street. 8. Selma, Alabama. Selma is a small town with a massive place in American history. This is where brave people marched, suffered, and changed the future of a nation. Walking across Selma's famous bridge feels heavy and emotional, like the past is standing right beside you. And yet, despite its importance, Selma is one of the most affordable places to buy a home in the country. Houses here cost far less than they should for a town that helped reshape America. Quiet streets, modest homes, and deep history surround you. Selma reminds us of a strange truth: history doesn't always raise prices. Sometimes it just waits quietly, hoping to be remembered. 9. Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson moves at a slower pace, and that scares people who live fast lives. There's no rush here, no constant noise. And that calm is exactly why home prices stay so low. Streets feel wide and open. Yards feel big enough to breathe. Music, faith, and tradition are woven into everyday life. This is a place where neighbors still talk, where time doesn't push you forward. Homes here are shockingly affordable, not because they lack value, but because the city refuses to hurry. Jackson feels like a reminder that life doesn't have to be loud to be meaningful. 10. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Pine Bluff feels like a town the world forgot, and that's exactly why it's so cheap. Once a busy river town full of movement and trade, Pine Bluff is now quiet and calm. Homes here sell for prices that almost don't feel real. Big yards stretch under old trees. Nights are silent, broken only by insects and distant trains. There's space here, physical space and mental space. It's the kind of town where kids grow up riding bikes, imagining bigger futures, even if the town itself feels small and overlooked. 11. Shreveport, Louisiana. Shreveport has soul, and you feel it the moment you arrive. Music history flows through the city like a heartbeat. Jazz, blues, and rhythm echo from its past. Culture runs deep here. And yet, home prices are shockingly low. You can buy a real house, walls, yard, driveway, for less than the cost of a brand new truck. That feels almost unfair. Culture this rich usually comes with high prices, but Shreveport breaks the rules. It's a place where history, music, and affordability somehow exist together. 12. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis gave the world Elvis, the blues, and sounds that changed music forever. The city carries rhythm in its bones. While some neighborhoods are expensive, others are unbelievably affordable. You can own a home in a city known around the world for less than what many people pay in rent every year. Even in quiet streets, music feels present, like it's always waiting to be heard again. Memphis proves that fame doesn't always mean unaffordable, and sometimes the most iconic cities still hide affordable corners. 13. St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis stands tall in the heart of America, marked forever by its famous Gateway Arch. This city once symbolized opportunity, growth, and movement west. Brick homes line its older neighborhoods, many built with care and craftsmanship that feels rare today. Some areas struggle, yes, but many are beautiful, quiet, and surprisingly affordable. Home prices here feel strangely disconnected from how important this city once was, and still is. Standing beneath the arch, looking up at the skyline, you can't help but wonder why more people aren't paying attention to a place with this much history and potential. 14. Toledo, Ohio. Toledo doesn't shout for attention. It doesn't sparkle or chase trends. Instead, it offers something much quieter and much rarer: peace. Homes here are affordable, streets are calm, and life feels steady from day to day. You don't feel rushed here. You feel settled. Neighbors wave. Traffic is light. Nights are quiet. Toledo isn't flashy, but for many people, stability matters more than excitement. And that quiet reliability is exactly why homes here remain so cheap. 15. Rockford, Illinois. Rockford once ran on factory whistles and steady paychecks. When those factories closed, the city took a hard hit. Jobs disappeared, and home prices fell quickly. But something important stayed behind: the people. Parks are still full. Schools still open every morning. Families still build lives here. Homes are now far cheaper than you'd expect, making Rockford feel like a town paused between past success and future possibility. It's a place waiting patiently for its second chance. 16. Duluth, Minnesota. Duluth sits on the edge of Lake Superior, where the water feels endless and powerful. Cold weather keeps many buyers away, and that fear pushes home prices down. But for those who stay, Duluth offers something special. Nature surrounds you. Forests, cliffs, and lake views feel like part of daily life. Standing by the lake, watching waves crash against the shore, feels calming and humbling at the same time. The cold lowers prices, but the beauty never leaves. 17. Beckley, West Virginia. Beckley is wrapped in mountains, quiet roads, and open skies. Coal once ruled this region, putting food on tables and money in pockets. When that industry faded, home prices dropped with it. Today, houses here are incredibly cheap, but the scenery is priceless. Every drive feels peaceful. Every breath feels deeper. Life slows down naturally in Beckley, reminding you that sometimes the richest views come with the lowest price tags. 18. Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Johnstown is a town shaped by survival. It has faced floods, destruction, and rebuilding more than once. And yet, it still stands. Streets feel strong here, like they've carried history and refuse to break. Homes are very affordable, often far cheaper than nearby cities. There's a quiet strength in Johnstown, a feeling that this town has already faced the worst and endured. History lives here, not loudly but firmly, in every block and building. 19. Erie, Pennsylvania. Erie sits beside the water, where Lake Erie stretches wide and calm. But winter scares buyers away. Snow falls heavy. Demand drops. And when demand drops, prices fall too. Homes here are surprisingly affordable for a lake town. Summer changes everything. Warm days by the water feel magical. Sunsets feel endless. Erie offers a trade-off: cold winters for cheap homes and beautiful summers. It's a deal many people overlook. 20. Camden, New Jersey. Camden's location is shocking when you really think about it. It sits just across the river from Philadelphia, minutes away. And yet, home prices here are worlds apart. Houses are shockingly cheap, not because of distance, but because of reputation. For years, negative stories crushed property values. Location alone couldn't save them. That makes Camden one of the most surprising towns on this list. It proves that perception can matter more than geography when it comes to home prices. 21. Decatur, Illinois. Decatur feels steady, quiet, and grounded. This was once a town powered by manufacturing, where factories provided stable jobs and families built predictable lives. When those jobs slowly disappeared, home prices followed them down. Today, houses here cost far less than most people expect. Streets are calm. Traffic is light. Life feels organized and simple. Decatur attracts people who value peace over pressure and routine over rush. It's not a city chasing attention, it's a place offering stability to anyone tired of crowds and chaos. 22. Muncie, Indiana. Muncie feels like a college town frozen in time. The presence of a university keeps energy alive, but the pace of life remains slow and manageable. Homes here are surprisingly cheap, making ownership feel realistic again. Streets are wide. Neighborhoods feel open. You see students walking, families living nearby, and homes that don't feel out of reach. Muncie reminds you of a powerful idea, that owning a home doesn't have to be a lifelong dream. In some places, it's still very possible. 23. Saginaw, Michigan. Saginaw once thrived on industry. Factories provided work, purpose, and movement. When that industry left, prices collapsed almost overnight. Today, homes here sell for shockingly low amounts. Some streets feel quiet, even too quiet at times. But there's something else in the air: potential. Empty spaces wait for new ideas. Strong homes wait for new families. Saginaw feels like a town standing at the edge of a second beginning. 24. Cairo, Illinois. Cairo sits at a rare and powerful spot, where two major rivers meet. Long ago, this made it busy, important, and alive. Boats came and went. People worked. Money flowed. Then history changed direction. Jobs disappeared. People left. Today, Cairo feels almost empty. Homes here cost almost nothing. Walking through the town feels eerie, but also deeply fascinating. Buildings stand quietly, like they're holding stories inside. Cairo feels less like a town and more like a moment in time that never moved forward. 25. East St. Louis, Illinois. East St. Louis closes this list with a powerful message. It has some of the lowest home prices in all of America. Once a major industrial hub, this city faced deep economic loss when opportunity left. Homes became cheap not because of distance or land, but because investment disappeared. And yet, the land remains. The location remains. The history remains. East St. Louis is a reminder that value isn't always about quality, it's about attention. When attention leaves, prices fall. When it returns, everything can change. So those were 25 U.S. towns where home prices are shockingly low. None of these places are perfect. Some are struggling. Some are rebuilding. But they all prove one powerful thing. Owning a home in America is still possible if you're willing to look beyond the big cities. While millions of people are stuck renting forever, these towns offer something rare: space, quiet streets, and the chance to truly own where you live. The world keeps moving fast, but these places are waiting patiently for someone to notice them again. Now the real question is yours to answer. Would you live in one of these towns if it meant owning a home outright? Which town surprised you the most? Comment below and let us know. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more eye-opening stories like this. We'll see you in the next video.